Okay guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things that I think are essential for all Crested Gecko owners. So let's get straight into the video. So the first item or items on this list are actually in my supply drawer for my Crested Gecko. So if I just root in and take them out, these are a little spoon and a toothpick. Now you might be wondering what I do with these. Well, my Crested Gecko diets are down there, and basically just having a little spoon is handy to just scoop them out and put them in and measure them out into the feeding dish. And then once you've added water, you can just go around with a toothpick and mix it up. Some people will use the spoon for the same job, but personally I find having the fine point is good, because if there are any like lumps in the food, then you can break them up with this. And they're just two handy things that if you've got a Crested Gecko, you're probably going to need. But that's about all that can be said for these, so let's move on to the next item. So the next thing that I'm including on this list is a feeding ledge and a dish. Now this might seem kind of self-explanatory, but some people are still gonna put like milk lids with food on the floor, and to be totally honest, I find just spending a little bit of money and getting a proper ledge and a proper dish is just worth it. This is one of the Arcadia ledges that comes with the kits, like the food kits and the jelly pot kits. But basically the reason why I think these are worth it is because the ledge allows you to put the food higher up in the cage, and as Crested Geckos are arboreal by nature, then putting it higher up is just better for them because they feel more secure. And also the proper dish, milk lids are kind of one use because you've got like the screws in them, like the tracks for the screws that go round. So after you've used them, the food sort of dries up between them, and it's quite hard to clean them properly. So you have to chuck them out, and then you have to clean a new milk lid and put that in. It's just a lot easier to have a smooth-sided proper feeding dish. Then you can just wipe it out and it's good to use again. But that's about it for this one, so let's move on to the third item. So the next thing that I really do think is essential to keep a Crested Gecko properly is a proper heating and lighting system. Now I do have some lights along the right side, but to be totally honest you can just ignore them because they're more for the plants in this enclosure. But the two bulbs that you're looking at in the middle here, the one at the front is a 12% UVB bulb, and the one at the back is a 25 watt daylight heat bulb. Now, some people are going to argue that you really don't need these for Crested Geckos, but in my personal experience, the UVB, there are loads of benefits for making certain vitamins in the skin, and I have made a very quick video on that in the past, but they're also great for making the Crested Gecko fire up, which is when they go more colourful, and I did get a really good photo of that the other week, so I'll just pop it up now. And also the heat lamp at the back. Some people think that Crested Geckos don't like high temperatures, and that if you give them, they're just going to avoid them, or if they can't get away from them, then they're going to like die from heat stress. But even though my Crested Gecko doesn't use the heat very often, maybe only once a week or something, he does go in the hide that's right underneath it. So the second to last item that we're going to look at is the spray bowl. So this is my spray bottle, and the thing that I'm going to say about these ones is definitely get yourself one that has got the pump on the top so that you can increase the pressure and then just hold this down and it'll keep spraying out. Because honestly, doing it with the old-fashioned sprayers or the other type of sprayers where you have to keep hitting it, that does get actually quite annoying. I used to use one for another animal in the past, and it is quite irritating. So definitely get yourself one of these, and I'll just show you how it works. So if you've never seen this before, it's basically as simple as you just get the top and pump it up and down a bit. Then once you've done that until you can feel resistance, because that's like the pressure's built up, you just have to reach in, press the trigger, and you've got a constant spray. And now if you look down here, you can just about see that splat, my crested gecko, is licking up the water droplets off that leaf. So the final thing that I would say is absolutely necessary for a crested gecko is to have an enclosure that is properly planted. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be live planted. I would advocate that, but you don't actually need it 100%. Just basically make sure that it's got loads of cover in it, because crested geckos do need a lot of spaces to hide. They aren't like a leopard gecko where you can just put a little den in there and they'll crawl under it. They just sort of need surfaces that are covered, if you get what I mean, by leaves and that, and then they'll just sit on them. And that is just something that you're going to have to do. If this enclosure was bare, you're going to start having issues where the crested gecko is stressed, and they're probably going to be worse off to handle, and they're not going to want to feed. So definitely have your enclosure packed with plants, and if you do that, then you can keep them in basically as big an enclosure as you want. I mean, there is a kind of myth circulating that little baby crested geckos have to be kept in small enclosures or they're just going to go off feed. But this is a 45 centimetre by 45 centimetre by 60 centimetre tall enclosure. And my crested gecko's actually been in this since he was about 1.5 grams. I do have a little video of it, so I'll pop it up in a card. It'll just appear right here and you can click it to watch the video. But he has been in this enclosure since he was that small and I've never had an issue. Okay guys, so that pretty much wraps up this JTB Reptiles video. I hope that you could gain something from it, and if you're considering getting a crested gecko, then this has helped you compile the stuff that you're going to need for it. So if you did enjoy this video, then do please leave a like and do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.